Hey everyone. So we have today a 2012 Ford Mustang Boss 302. This one in particular is finished in competition orange, and man does it look sweet. Ford made these cars between 2012 and 2013 as an homage to the 1969 and 1970 Boss 302s that were actually racing back then and were produced as cars. A lot of people think that this is just like a sticker package, but that cannot be any more false. Ford put a lot of effort into making this car as good as it is and track focused. And we'll start by taking a look at the engine. So fun fact about this engine is it was actually built in Windsor, Ontario at the Ford Essex engine plant, which coincidentally we're standing in front of right now in their visitor center. So that's kind of neat. Yeah, right on the top there, Boss 302. These are all numbered vehicles. So there's a plaque at the back there. This is number 295. So a lot of people call this the Roadrunner engine, or they nickname it the Roadrunner engine. I don't think Ford ever formally called it that, but really what it is a track built, more focused on higher RPM engine than the Coyote engine of the time. So Ford took a Coyote engine and did a lot to it. Mostly, making the internals a lot stronger to handle a higher RPM, but also allowing better airflow. Spec-wise, this has 444 horsepower and 380 foot-pounds of torque with a red line of 7,500 RPM. So not really a whole lot more than a standard GT at the time, around 40 horsepower more, and a little bit less torque actually, but a much higher red line, allowing power throughout the entire band. Ford didn't stop just with the engine. They put a lot of effort into the handling of this car to make it track focused. And that's the theme of this car. It's really about the track. We can see immediately actually on the top of the two strut towers here, there's adjustable dampers. There's 5 settings. Currently we're on setting number 2, so 5 being the most aggressive, 1 being the least aggressive. Right now we're set for driving kind of on the roads, but if you wanted to head to a track, you definitely want to switch that to the 4th or 5th setting there. Let's talk production numbers as I get this hood prop down. So like I said, the Boss 302 was only produced during the 2012 and 2013 years, with only 4,000 produced per year. And of those 4,000 a year, 750 of those were the slightly more special Laguna Seca edition. So the Laguna Seca edition took it a step further, adding a larger aero package and kind of reducing weight. Ford's efforts there, didn't go unnoticed, because they did beat the BMW M3 on track at Laguna Seca. The weight of this car is roughly 3,600 pounds, which, it's not lightweight by any means, but by standard, but by the newer standards, so if you're talking like the BMW M5, the new BMW M5, that's like 5,500 pounds. So, it's not lightweight, but it's not too heavy considering modern standards. So Ford put a lot of effort into the rear end of this car as well to really button it down. So you've all seen the memes of Mustangs hitting barriers out of a Cars and Coffee. Well, this car is a lot less likely to do that with the kind of improvements they made to the rear end. Wheels and tires are unique to this car as well. These wheels are kind of a black painted wagon spoke kind of thing, which I'm still on the fence about, but I think they're all right. Then tires, these cars originally came with Pirelli P0s. Right now we're on Continental Extreme Contact Sport 02s. We have 285 35s on the rear and 255 40s on the front. Exterior styling wise, I think it looks amazing. Ford did a great job of making this car really pop with the black painted hood, black painted roof, black painted spoiler, the beautiful hockey stick Boss 302 stripe on the side, and then this nice big splitter on the front. Clearance wise, although it's got a big splitter on it, it's handles any speed bump, I have no issues getting into my driveway. It's all good there. Yeah, let's head on inside and take a look. Oh, before we head inside, actually, one more thing I wanted to mention is that this actually has quad pipe exhaust, but it's not 4 out the rear. There's 2 on the side and 2 on the rear. And the 2 on the side sound amazing, especially since they're right beside your ear. So you can hear this thing wail from any RPM. All right, so sitting inside the Boss 302, let's turn it on. So immediately when you sit in the Boss, it's apparent that this is a 2012 Ford product. A lot of plastics. It's not very premium feeling, but it gets the job done, and it's driver oriented. So to stick with the Mustang theme, you see these 2 humps here. Every Mustang up until the new generation, actually the S650, had this 2 hump design. Specific to the Boss 302, we have faux aluminum paneling and the Boss 302 lettering on the side. And then on the seats, we also have Boss 302 embroidered. This car had 3 options from the factory. That's it. If you wanted the Boss, those are the only options you can get. The first was the Recaro seat package, which also came with a Torsen rear differential. You could also get a track key, which this car has, and you can see it illuminated there on the LED. And lastly is floor mats. So this car has the red track key, it has the floor mats, but it does not have the Recaro seat package with the Torsen rear differential. These seats are still very comfortable and nicely bolstered, so you don't, it gets the job done. Infotainment wise, all you have are buttons here. No screens to get in your way, super easy to navigate. Naturally your hand kind of finds the volume knob, no problems there. But yeah, it's old school and it gets the job done. The shifter, it's a short shifter, which is unique to the Boss 302. So, changing between gears is super easy and it's a really short throw. And then you have this beautiful kind of black 8-ball on the top. Then down here, all you have is the traction control off, your hazard lights, and the trunk release. Yeah, let's go for a drive. All right. And there we see track key engine enabled, and I'll get to that in a second, kind of explain what that means. The steering wheel feels great. Alcantara, also unique to the Boss 302. A couple nitpicks about this car is the cup holders. They're kind of right where you're shifting gears, and on the steering wheel there's plastic right where your hands are always sitting when you're track driving. So those are 2 kind of nitpicks, but overall still a great car. All right, let's set off. Man, this thing's fun. Immediate smile on the face. Oh man, this thing sounds amazing. Nothing like a naturally aspirated 5-liter V8. And those quad pipe exhausts just make it all the more better. No auto rev match in this beast. You gotta do everything yourself. But isn't that the whole point of driving? To have fun? Ford did a great job of like positioning you in this car. The pedal box is perfect. It's so easy for heel toe. Seating positions, amazing. You know, you're sitting nice and low in the car. You don't feel like you're sitting on top of it. But this car is really like two cars in one with the red key, with the track key. So with a standard, you know, black key, the car is super like easy to drive around, no problems. And then with the red key, it just makes it so much more aggressive and track focused. Because what Ford did is they took the tune of their Boss 302S and 302R race cars, and they took that as inspiration in making this track key. So the tune is really, you know, track oriented, obviously. That's so apparent because immediately it has the track key has engine braking. That's the word I was looking for. It has engine braking. So when you let off the gas, the car just pulls you back and it slows down relatively quickly on its own. You don't need to use the brakes a whole lot. Obvious biggest con of this version, the S197 Mustang, is the fixed rear axle. But Ford did a great job in this Boss in buttoning it down with all the work they did on the rear end. So, you know, coming around corners, if there's undulations, it will upset the car a little bit, but way less than if this was a standard Mustang GT. Like, they really built this as a race car for the road. That's so fun, this thing. And you get all the pops and bangs on the overrun through the quad pipes. Oh, it's just such an experience to drive this car. It's such a rush. A lot of modern cars feel like they're driving for you. And that's one of my biggest complaints about, you know, new BMWs, new Mercedes, even the new Mustang, the newer S650. It doesn't feel as raw and visceral as they did back in the day. And you know, 2012 is not that long ago, so you still get everything you need and nothing you don't. Do you really need Apple CarPlay? Do you really need Android Auto? Or do you just want to listen to your music and listen to Google Maps? And if that's the case, you can just get a Bluetooth to auxiliary converter and put your, you know, mount your phone right up here on the dash, and boom, that's all you need. So now you have the technical features and the raw driving experience. I don't know, that's just my 2 cents. MSRP of these Bosses was $40,000 US. If you take a look on the used market nowadays, they're basically fetching $40,000 US for a quality example with low kilometers. I think that goes to show that people are realizing just how special these cars are, and that they absolutely will be a collector's car in the near future. which is a no-brainer. They're rare. They're a driver's car, which is so rare. I keep using the word rare, but it's true. Like, how many driver's cars are available right now, especially with a V8 engine? Like, all you have is the Mustang GT to buy new. And, you know, those are becoming basically big screens on wheels. So why not get a 2012 with all the benefits and none of the cons, really? And just something that's so fun to drive. This car still has practicality too. I mean, it's got a really big trunk. I'm a golfer and I could fit my golf bags in there no problem. Don't have to, you know, take the drivers out or anything like that. You could probably fit, you know, 3 or 4 golf bags if you really wanted to. Yeah, let's do one final walk around and finish it there. So there you have it, the 2012 Boss 302. I'd say if you're considering buying one of these, just do it. These are so fun to drive. Without a doubt, these cars are going to appreciate in value just because how raw and how fun they are. Anyway, let me know what you think. Do you think it will be a collector's car? Or do you think, you know, it's just going to kind of fall away into automotive history and everyone's going to forget about it? Anyway, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.